This class is an anthropology class, which lends the question, what is anthropology exactly? I usually describe anthropology as the discipline which is trying to understand what it means to be human. Now, of course, there are a lot of disciplines that try to answer this question. What I think distinguishes anthropology is that anthropology doesn't take any singular approach to trying to understand what it means to be human. Rather, it tries to incorporate information simultaneously from lots of different sources to understand what it means to be human. In the United States, we generally break down anthropology into 4 separate subfields, dealing with different kinds of information and different kinds of methodological approaches. Ethnography, which studies human behavioral practices and the construction of meaning within human society. And ethnographers oftentimes work by embedding themselves within cultural groups for long periods of time to try and get an insider's view as to how and why populations do what they do. A second subfield is linguistic anthropology, which takes advantage of the fact that language occupies a uniquely important role in humans, not only for how we interact with each other, but how we develop and how we understand the world around us. A third subfield is archaeology, which tries to take advantage of the fact that human societies have left a long history of material culture dating back deep into ancient times. Now, unlike Indiana Jones and images you might think, archaeologists aren't interested in just finding artifacts from the past. Rather, they're interested in reconstructing patterns of behavior in the past and how cultural practices have changed over time. Finally, there's biological anthropology, which is what I do. As a biological anthropologist, I seek to understand human variation by looking at the biological mechanisms which shape that variation, and by taking an evolutionary approach to understanding how variation is patterned across time in humans. Now, taking this definition of anthropology, it's important to recognize that there's a lot of different ways of developing knowledge about the human condition, about understanding what it means to be human. Part of being an anthropologist is recognizing that there are multiple ways to answer the same question, not all of them mutually exclusive. Some questions lend themselves more readily to biological explanations. Some of them lend themselves more readily to cultural explanations. But many questions lend themselves to both simultaneously. And to truly understand them in a deep manner, you need to be able to understand and integrate cultural as well as biological phenomena and how they interact. One of the reasons I like studying and teaching human evolution is that compared to studying evolution in general, studying human evolution poses particular challenges, but also particular opportunities. Within the last 2 million years, human behavior and human cultural practices have become a really important factor in shaping how evolution acts on humans. In other words, they've become very important factors for understanding how evolution operates and the diversity with which evolution operates. So human behavior and human cultural practices become a very important evolutionary issue. Within this class, we'll explore human evolution and talk about, especially in the second half of the class, how human behavior and the development of human culture become important factors in shaping how evolution operates in humans differently than other organisms, even our closely living relatives such as the great apes.